Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
And today we have Mr. John Young.
I don't hate what you do. I just hate what you look like.
It's one of the best lines ever.
Happy New Year, everyone. Did everybody have a good Christmas and New Year's? I know it's been a while. It's been a while since we've been on. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Bill had the worst Christmas ever.
I
had
had a rough holiday season.
But you ended well.
No. Ended fucking fantastic.
All right. Yeah.
I would just say this: love conquers all.
Love finds a way.
Love finds a way.
Awesome.
But my daughter had a great time, so that's good.
Good.
So she had a great holiday.
John, how about you? Because I'm definitely I'm gonna bring a negative.
Okay. I mean, ours is pretty boring. We got a 9-month pregnant wife, so
Yeah, I was gonna say
we're not doing anything. We went to my parents. They live about 40 minutes from us, so we did Christmas over there on Christmas Day, and other than that, just kind of boring. Like we went to sleep before midnight. You know what I mean? Like very boring couple.
I missed midnight for the first time probably since high school.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So I got pneumonia.
Oh, dang. Is that even a thing anymore?
I guess I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't even know how you can get it. But you remember when my wife?
And it's terrible. You're like, I'm dying,
dude. So you guys remember, Bill? You remember when my wife was sick, and I was like, all right, they're sick. My kids are sick.
Yeah.
I'm hanging strong.
Yeah.
I'm holding it down. Now I got it eventually, like 2 weeks later, and this was before Christmas. So that took me out for like a week. I was like, okay, this sucks. But I was managing it. And then Christmas Eve till Christmas Day, I was like, oh, we're good. Perfect timing. And then the next day we went to go surprise my dad. I was telling my mom, I went to go surprise my dad in San Antonio. He's got a big surgery coming up on his spine in like a couple of days.
Dang.
And you can tell he's like really nervous about it. I was like, all right. And he like misses the grandkids. So I was like, all right, we'll go down. We'll surprise him the day after Christmas. And then my brother, his son is turning 9 on the 27th. So we'll just make it a whole surprise. Because me and my wife and kids, we don't really travel. It's like, you want to see us, come see us.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a 5-hour trip to San Antonio. Anyway, we get back and like halfway home on the drive, I was like, oh no, it's coming back. And for like 2 days, I have never had a headache in my life like I did for those 2 days, and body aches and chills and fever. And then on the third day, it kind of went away. I was like, okay, whatever that was, we're past it. Fourth day, bad again. So I go to the urgent care, and here's the thing, I had no nasal congestion. I wasn't really coughing that bad, just every once in a while, because I just thought I was getting over what I had. So you get those tremors later.
Yeah. Yep.
And do you have flu, COVID? I was like, no. Well, we need to test you. I was like, oh, great. So they come back, swab the shit out of both my nostrils, about 5 seconds longer than I wanted for each one. They're like, you're negative. I'm like, I know I'm negative. They're like, all right, well, let's x-ray your lungs. They come back, they're like, you got pneumonia.
Dang, dude.
Dude, it was awful. I worked out this morning for the first time in almost a month.
Oh my god.
I'm surprised you didn't feel pneumonia is like water on the lungs. I'm surprised you didn't feel or have a weirder cough or something.
I mean, I had a cough, but I don't know, man. I was just like, oh, this sucks. And they're like, yeah, you got pneumonia. It's like, oh, that sucks. So yeah, now I'm good. But I am, whatever fitness gains I got back in 2024, which was a huge deal for me, just to get back to median, gone.
Hey, you can live with pneumonia. You just can't breathe.
Dude, I tried to work out this morning, very low key, not for time, and I was dying.
Oh man, yeah, you got brand new lungs right now, man.
Oh yeah. Anyway, we're back. Welcome everybody. Good to see you guys. Happy Monday. My kids are still not in school.
Mine just went to school today.
I would love y'all's opinion on this. I think New Year's is the worst holiday of all of the holidays.
Yes.
It's my least favorite one. I hate it. I hate what people make of it. And It is so passionate about how much I dislike New Year's.
Okay. New Year's Day or New Year's Eve or the whole thing?
Just the whole thing. It's another day.
Hmm.
Like I treat it as such. It's not.
Okay.
It's just another day, but people want to go get just drunk or whatever,
Mhm.
and then they're gonna be like, "All right, now I'm gonna try to be good at something," and then like it's just ridiculous. Like people want to use New Year's as motivation,
Mhm.
and I dislike the word motivation because it's not motivation that you lack; it's discipline.
Ooh.
Nobody has any discipline. If you want to change your life, if you want to get fit, you want to not eat crappy, you want to do whatever you want to do, you need discipline.
Mm.
It's a habit of something you do every freaking day. Not to sound like David Goggins, because I'm not trying to be like David Goggins, but it's not
Stay hard.
motivation. It's not.
Yeah.
And you for dang sure aren't going to be motivated by starting the year out just partying. Like that makes no sense at all to its core. I hate everything about what comes of New Year's with people's mentalities.
I can see that.
I agree with
can
that.
see And
I agree with that.
I don't disagree with either one. I do feel for those that don't know how to find discipline or are grasping at straws, that this is a good opportunity for them to at least try. So I'm cool with that.
You know what? I think I gave up on New Year's being anything spectacular, like way back where there used to be or I felt that there were like expectations of like, it's supposed to be this is going to be a great night. It's going to be awesome. And not that I thought that there'd be anything specifically, John
Mhm.
Goggins, specifically that would change. But I gave up on the idea that that a day made something special, that like all of a sudden it was going to be different because of today.
Yeah.
Because you're right, John. I mean, like if you want to make a change in whatever it is, either it's your health or it's your finances or it's your relationship or it's your a particular skill you want or a hobby you have,
Yeah.
the day that you should switch that or change that is that day when you decide like I need to make a change.
I agree with you guys, but if people need that calendar switch and it works, then I'm all for it.
How many
But it
success
doesn't.
stories do you know that works?
I would say there's. I would say this.
I would say if you need that, you're not
Yeah.
ready.
Well, I would say there's probably more success stories out of a Jan 1 like life change than just like a random day.
Oh, I
Period.
disagree wholeheartely.
Hmm.
I think
I would the ratio.
You just don't hear about it
Right.
on random day.
Fair.
I
The greatest
agree
day
with
to
John
start
on that.
something is yesterday. The next best day is today.
True.
And
Yep.
I think if you just you need to just wake up just June 21st. That's the day that I'm going to get in freaking shape.
Yeah.
You know why June 21st is the summer solstice. That's the longest day of the year.
The most time to get in
Right.
whatever you need
Say,
to do.
I'm going to achieve something. On
Wait, did
this
you
day.
purposely pick that day?
I kind of came to me as I was talking.
That's my mom's
shot.
birthday.
It's like one of my favorite days of the year.
Is it really?
I love the longest day.
Fucking
I love
long
long
day.
days.
I-
Long days
I-
are
We
yeah,
take
I
the
like to
jet
see
ski out. We're staying out all day.
good.
No, I get it. I get it. I'm just saying for those that are just needing something to motivate them, whether it sticks or doesn't stick, I'm okay with it. But I
Hire me or John as your coach.
I understand. No, I'm good. I'm good. All right. Before we get into our top
hard to be so
four,
negative about.
not
about
negative.
that.
That's good.
I
That's
think,
great.
yeah.
No, that's good. It's great. Before we get to our top 4 bold predictions for the 2025 CrossFit Games season, which can include anything and everything underneath the sun for this year, a couple announcements is I believe there's a new Instagram out there called Apollo Perform. And if you guys have been around long enough to see the lovable Barkley Dale, you guys should know, and I just put this link in the chat if you guys are watching along with us, is that he is a stats, what is the...
Savant.
Savant, yeah, there you go. Thank you. I was thinking Phenom, that works too. But this guy has... Guru, whatever.
He's really good at it.
The best, yeah. He's
Stats God. He has Apollo on there. You can have a stats God.
Stats God.
Stats God.
Stats God. I don't know if he's here, but this is his new Instagram handle for that side of the house for him. So he's making his way through the CrossFit world. I would say is doing it the right way. You know, like, what's the right way? That's a podcast, but doing it the right way, working his ass off, just putting in the work, being available, and this is his thing. So if you guys go to Instagram, make sure you look at, it's called Apollo Perform. That's the name up here, but we dropped the link in the chat. So give him a follow, support him, just like you guys support us. We certainly appreciate it. I know he will too. And we'll do, love that guy. The next one is if you guys are here for the season on the barbell spin, Spin has put together, this is nuts. I was like, I want to suggest something to him.
That's another savant right there.
He's already done so much work already, but it has basically the live competition calendar for CrossFit and maybe some qualifying events as well, whether they're online or in person. Or is this all in person? I can't remember, John. But I will also put this in the chat if you guys are watching on YouTube. If you're listening to us in the car later, just go watch the show and give us another view. But from Jan 8th through 19th, it is online stuff too. First action. Those are the
qualifiers. They're not the actual competitions.
Yeah, he has basically everything in here. Online qualifiers, in-person competitions, everything CrossFit related competition-wise is on this calendar of nearly the entire year. And it's nuts, but it is so cool to see. And my only suggestion to him is like, can you make you guys can make like a calendar icon where it just like loads everything into your G calendar or Gmail. There's like a way to do that. We do that for my son's sports because like we can't remember all these dates, and you can just send a link, and if you click it, it loads all of these into your icon.
It automatically updates everything?
It automatically updates.
That's sweet.
So, just to give Spin some more work to do. But if you did that, it would be really cool because then I don't have to copy and paste all of this, even though that's what you did, times 10 to assemble this. So pretty awesome stuff here. So if you guys don't want to do that, you can bookmark this in your whatever search engine you guys have. But I just wanted to highlight that. Is it a link? Well, yeah, it's a link. I mean, I sent the link to the article. Anyway.
I'm considering doing the Madrid qualifiers. Do you think I'd have a shot?
I think you should.
Yes, dude.
Just to see if I could get lucky. And
is that the one
not fit people do it?
The Wadland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wad and Wood are two different things. Chase.
The ones that have the qualifiers during Wadapalooza.
Correct. That's my point. Like I might be able to
are competing in
shadily make the first heat is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that.
Heat one, John.
Semifinals athlete. That's how I did it. No other way.
All right, gang. All right, we have. I got 30 minutes. I got. My son has
Let's go. We'll motor.
Yeah, we're good. All right, our top 4 bold predictions, hot takes. 10% could be possible versus like the 99% guarantee. Like we're not coming on here and be like, we think Tia Toomey's going to win the 2025 CrossFit Games. Like,
damn. I got to cross that one.
Oh, that was your number 1? Okay.
No, dude.
Hey, get out. Thank you. My kids wanted to ask. My wife was on. All right. What would be the order? We'll have John. John's the guest. You'll go first. But before you go, because this is a Mount Rush Moments episode, this is our top 4 bold predictions of the 2025 CrossFit Games season. I should make a video for that. By I make a video, I mean go to Fiverr and just have someone across the world.
I wonder if I can just get my recorder, and really try to get after it.
All right, John. We'll go John, me, Bill.
Okay,
that'll be the order. Top four.
I'm gonna go with the ones I think is the most likely first, my least likely last.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I believe in all of these, but some I believe in more than others. And they're also the most boring ones I'm gonna get out of the way first. So the one that I have the most confidence in, and everybody should just pencil it in because I have said it, it's going to happen. That's what typically happens anyway. Is that Austin Hatfield will podium at this year's game.
Podium. Okay.
He's not. I'm a realist. Come on now.
I mean,
it took Matt 2 years too.
True. All right. That was
podium
good. I thought his spin commented on our post today, and he's like, "John's top 4 picks, Austin Hatfield."
I had to get it out of the way.
Yeah. All right. So Austin Hatfield will podium at the 2025 CrossFit Games.
Mm-hmm.
Pick. All right.
Book it.
Okay, I like that. If that's your least hot take, I know that's one of your favorite.
In my opinion, I know other people, but I also said Austin Hatfield would be 10th place at the CrossFit Games last year, and everybody told me I was on crack because he had never made it before.
I mean, you asked
what happened?
Your way there.
What happened? It don't matter how you get there.
It's true. That's true. You're right. Everybody else is wrong.
To call a place exactly, Chase, is pretty ridiculous.
Right. No, I gave it to you. Yeah, I gave it to you. Okay. I don't have a particular order. Okay, I'll go with this one. The new judging system this year for the CrossFit Games will flop. But in doing so, it will create the best online judging system for next year. All right. That's my whatever they're trying to do this year. I don't know if we've all grasped the magnitude of what is put in place at the moment. And I think this setup won't work as well as we hope. But in doing so, in their failure, they will find the right path forward for 2026. So whatever happens this year, which I think will be rough, will actually in turn, lessons learned, things will be figured out. I think they're on the right path. I really do. That pivot from what they learned this year will be the best system for next year.
Same system, or the system will change?
The system will change, but with the same, I think it'll be level 2 judging standards will need to be in place. Videos will need to be public. I just think.
But still 1% in semifinal. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know about 1% semifinals. This will wrap into. I think I'll probably pick this as my last one.
Okay.
But Bill and I talked about this, but there's going to be an opt-in feature to filter out just the nonsense for next year. But yes.
Okay.
That'll. But yes, I'm happy to see the steps being taken, which are needed. I think it won't be as great as it could be, which means it'll be better next year. So that's everybody just be patient.
I didn't know we were allowed to go 2026 predictions. I thought this was
I'm setting it up, right? I announced what I think would happen this year and my hopes for what would be next year. All right, Bill.
It's interesting that you said that. I had one that was very similar in ideology about that. Not so much about the judging necessarily, but I think it kind of even actually plays into what John was saying with his first one with Austin. I think this is going to be the worst year in CrossFit competition history.
Okay.
And the reason I say that, and I don't mean to be like I'm just trying to pick something stupid out of my ass on that. The reason I say that is because I think that with the other competitions that are coming out, the way that they're trying to come out, it is going to dilute what we have athlete-wise and where everyone's going to go. And so instead of one of the directions that you want to go, whether it's the games version or the fitness project direction or any grid or any of the other things that are going on, I think that it's going to be so diluted that neither of them are going to be able to really successfully work. So I feel that this year ends up like it kind of burns itself down to where, like what you said, they're going to all kind of come together and be like, okay, here's the way we got to build this. And instead of all of us trying to do our thing and my thing and your thing and this thing and that thing, that it's going to, out of necessity, forge itself into a competitive direction.
Like the AFL or the USFL and
Right.
NFL
Right.
combining together to make what we know the NFL
The
is.
NFL now. Yeah. I think that there's just a lot of noise and static, and not that it's negative noise or static, but there's a lot of static that's happening that's not really going to allow any of the different steps to take a very strong stance. And I think it's going to make it be very hard for them this year. So, yeah.
All right. John, you're number 2.
I think y'all will be pleasantly surprised with my last prediction.
Okay.
With all this negativity towards competition this year. Okay. This one I said on the barbell spin, but it's the one. It is a bit of a bold take, so I'm going to include it too. Emma Lawson will be top 5 at the CrossFit Games.
Oh, that is a big one.
Why? Like what?
Bill's beside himself.
You can fit, Bill. That's why.
Okay, they're all fit, but like I mean, like
you gotta ovary slap the competition, and it's gonna be over. Okay,
like that,
top 5.
That's good.
No, because she took a bit of a break. Had a bad 2024 season for her standard. I think she got a little bit overwhelmed with expectations. And I mean, it was a bad year for a lot of people as far as the games went. And she was, doesn't fall short of that. I think that what she did was good for her. And it will be the first time that an athlete was outspoken that they needed to take a mental break. And it was actually for their good. And she did it. That's how you need to do it. If you're like, hey, I mean, things are stacking up. I'm going to take a bit of a break. I'm not done competing. Just let me ease back into it. I guess Haley's a bit of a success story, but because she took the year off, but without taking the whole year off,
right,
and being outspoken about, hey, I'm mentally struggling. This will be one of the first success stories that we see. And yeah, I think Emma Lawson, I think she's fit enough to do it. She just has to put all the pieces together. You don't get second place at the CrossFit Games and you're not fit enough to do it.
Okay.
So I think her head is going to be great. And that's what I told you. Can ask Spin. I'm on the Emma Lawson train. And nobody else is. I'm letting y'all know it's going to work out.
All right. I like what you said when you said she had.
I don't feel good about the podcast. I don't feel good about that. That is not a good sign.
Yeah,
but I'm optimistic.
Yeah, starting a podcast was like doing sourdough bread during COVID. Is what I think that is. I will say, John, I commend you on saying she had a bad year to her standards, but if you look at it, it's like she did not have a bad year.
No.
She had a very good year. And a lot of these younger athletes think that they have to have a better place at the CrossFit Games every year, or if they don't win it that year, then it was a total waste. And that is not the case. Like, yes, pick any professional sport. Everybody wants to win the championship. Only one person, only one team can do it. And rarely is that the same person over and over and over. Yes, what we've seen on the men's side twice, on the women's side once is different, but the Celtics also won 12 championships before, real basketball players started to play the sport. It's like, it's a lot different these days. So, okay. I like that one.
Especially with, I think the women in the sport, like the men in the sport can't be successful at the same rate that the women can. The young men can.
Right.
Like there's too much of a physical gap. There's too much of a strength gap. It just doesn't happen. Women mature way faster than men do. And younger women find real success at the games way faster than the men do. And then when you finish top 10, top 5
Right.
at the CrossFit Games, you're like, oh, this is just how good I am. You don't know how good you are. And then you think, this is how good I am.
Yeah.
And then you get all of this Instagram following, you get agents, you get all of this stuff. And then you do not top 10 and now you're trash.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Like, I thought I was good and now I'm not, and nobody's
Right.
gonna
You're
like
like, no,
me
you're
anymore,
not. You're fine.
and nobody's gonna like me anymore. And
Yeah.
like, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot.
To that point is that, yes, girls physically mature sooner than boys, which makes them more able to compete at a younger age. But at the end of the day, there's still a 16-year-old brain in that head for as far as emotional and mental maturity, which does not come. I don't care how competitive you are and how well you articulate your words in front of a camera. You are still a child competing in a sport that requires a massive amount of emotional, mental maturity that these kids don't just have yet. So they see a 10th place finish and like, I am the worst person in the world. Like, no, you got 10th. Like, who gives a
In the
shit?
world.
Yeah.
In the world.
And you cannot be a soldier.
Yeah.
You can't train like a soldier. Like mentally, you
Right.
can't do it.
You're not allowed.
Mal freaking tried to be a Navy SEAL and you can't do it. And like,
this is actually the best hot take because that will not happen this year.
and you need to live your life as not an adult.
All right.
And like, it's just the truth.
True. That's a good one. I like that. I'm going to build off a little bit of my last one. So I said the judging whole revamp this year won't exactly be a success, but we'll lay the success and foundation for next year, and a bit off of Bill's. And I am with Bill is that I think this is a backdraft year. You guys remember backdraft? Bill,
Yes,
backdraft?
yes, I do.
You do. Yes.
You go, we go.
Yeah, you go, we go. This, like, do you see the smoke billow out from underneath the door frame and get sucked back out? That's what 2025 is going to be, right? 2024 was rough for a lot of reasons, which everybody and their mom has gone over in every podcast since the CrossFit Games. With all the changes this year, because of for whatever reason, and the new competitions coming in, I'm with Bill, was like, this will be a year that everybody just needs to get through without burning the foundation to the ground. But I also think that we're in for some chop. If I could, Aliens 2. Okay, that's 2 movies.
I was thinking like The Perfect Storm.
No, yeah, it could be, right? But
Yeah,
the waves coming.
I guess that's more chop.
We're in for some heavy turbulence this year. I don't think it's going to be great, but I do think they're going to do the best they can with what they have at their disposal, and the pivot we're going to change to. And I think because of that, a lot like my first take with the judging, is that next year is going to be one of the best years that we will have because of a rough 2025. But I also think, with a bit more detail, is that because of what they're doing now, we're going to go back to, I guess this is a 2026 prediction, but
That's
I
two,
think
right?
All right, how about this? How about this?
This is like when we were with Pedro and I was doing the year before.
Yeah, Bill was like 2 years behind. We're like, what are you talking about? That was like 2021. It's 2024. Okay, I'll do this. This will be the first and last year we do in-person semifinals.
Jay says no 2025 prediction.
I know. This is it. All right, this is it. I switched it up.
This is our Mount Rushmore. this is
Can't make me laugh that hard. I'm getting over pneumonia. All right. Okay. Pause. This will be the first and last year we do in-person semifinals. How about that?
off the record.
Crazy.
Okay. Sidebar.
Okay.
What will be in place of that?
We will return to what got us here.
Regionals?
Open for 5 weeks. 20 regionals around the world.
Okay.
Run like they're going to be run this year. That's where I see the positive. I think we're going to have a big net positive of these in-person qualifiers, which are just regional events. Let's just call them what they are. And then the CrossFit Games. That's what I think the fallout will be. So, first and last year, the 2025 online qualifier for our semifinals.
All right.
All right, Bill.
Mine really centered around a lot of all the different footprints for competition out there. And one of the things I think that all of them, CrossFit HQ included, was how are you supposed to fund what we have going on, whether it's private equity or it's somebody's rich uncle that has a whole lot of money that they want to throw into this thing because they like whatever, however it ends up going. The thing that I think has been the gate that no one would want to go through, and I think CrossFit tried at one point with Monster, their no sugar drink.
Oh yeah.
I think this will be the first year that one of these, whether it's Grid, whether it's the World Fitness Project, whether it's HQ, is they're going to start reaching out to mainstream sponsors. And I think that we're going to see that for the first time, whether it's McDonald's or even going as far as like Coke or something like that. And the reason I say that is not because of, I agree with the fact that there was always the, hey, we are against big sugar, we're against the shit food, we're against all that kind of stuff. I understand that. But when you have the biggest and most famous sporting event in the world with the Olympics, and McDonald's is running with them, and Coca-Cola is running with them, or Chase Bank, or whatever, there's a lot of money there that in a lot of interest that I think that will be the only way. I think that like it's going to be the, hey, we don't have any way to really fund this. Like I got a bunch of money right now, but if we're not making it, it's not going to happen. We have to have a big sponsor, and it's going to force these groups to look at someone else and actually step in and be like, hey, we need to sell this. We need to get you to buy in on what we're trying to do here. Someone big that can carry that group. And that I think that will help with what I said on the last one, is it'll all burn down, and then that will be kind of the catalyst to carry that group. So a big mainstream sponsor.
Do you think that, I feel like that kind of feels like we're selling out, you know?
Do you think CrossFit or all these other ones?
No, I mean, whatever has that sponsor. I mean, I just feel like everything Greg stood for was not that.
But all these other events are not CrossFit events.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's what I,
you're not talking about the games. You're talking about,
I'm talking about any avenue. I'm saying that like you have multiple avenues where people are like, look at the sponsors that sponsor all of these competitions now. That's going to get diluted. You're not going to have the same amount. You're going to be relying on so-and-so's uncle or nephew or whoever's got the money, private equity, whatever. They're going to have to find another avenue to do it. And so, yes, I think it's tough for CrossFit to buy into something like that, but that doesn't mean it has to be Coca-Cola. Maybe it's Chase Bank. Maybe it's
I mean, they try to deal. They did deals with like Ford and Porsche.
Well, and I mean, and I don't mean. I think Greg was talking about having something to do with like Range Rover or something like that. Like, I mean,
why not?
I mean, like Ford HQ, not like Ford down the street at the local Santa Cruz Ford shop kind of thing or whatever. Yeah. I think it'd have to be big. I do feel that this will be kind of the break between, hey, there is a fitness program that will make you healthy and help you live longer. But over here, this is a race.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with fitness. This has to do with racing. And that we as a community will be more in agreement of, hey, we want this race to happen, but I don't want them to sell me the fitness that I'm doing either. So there'll be a way, but I think that there will be a big sponsor, like a big time sponsor.
Okay.
Bro, if McDonald's sponsors anybody, somebody needs to reach out to them, because like, I feel like I'm the poster child. I
you are the poster child.
I could do
that
for McDonald's what Jerry did for Subway.
Well, without
pre,
the extra
pre,
stuff,
pre
right?
children, pre, none of that stuff, but
Yeah.
just sponsorship.
Pre-
Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, and it would be real life. And I'm
Hey.
not even faking it.
That is true. Hey,
I
do
got
we
to
need
9% body fat on chicken nuggets, guys.
Yeah, we're not going to do Jaguar. No.
Are we doing three?
All right, we
so
got-
you can get out of here. Let's
we
do
got
like
two
do
more
your
to-
best one.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
Do
we're
your
doing
best
4.
one.
We said 4.
Okay, all
We did
right.
4. We just got to stop like all the, what
Well,
ifs.
we're giving
All right.
reasons though, because
No,
we're
no,
being.
No, we're doing great.
I
good.
got 2 really good. I think 2
All
really
right,
good ones.
John,
Okay.
number 3.
At least 10 Europeans will not be at the games this year that were, or this coming year that were last year.
By qualification or personal
Anyway.
choice?
There are 30 people that go to the games this year, correct? Men
Yes.
and women,
At minimum.
whatever that means. Okay. At least 10 Europeans that were there last year will not be this year.
Men and women combined.
Yes.
Ooh. That's a good over-under. Dear Tyler.
That is
Yeah.
seriously.
I
Wow.
like that.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ooh.
I've already went through it. I kind of expect 14, but just
All
to
right.
be safe, I'm saying 10.
All right, Tyler, set it up. That's a long game.
Yeah.
Well, they got to vote before the Open starts.
I don't know how you make that like poll, but it's
No, just an over-under. 10.
okay. Yeah. I just
Prop
I guess
bet
you
for
just
the
yeah,
2025 prop bet.
yeah. Okay.
All right. I like that.
What if he did Heat 1? No, I'll stop. But what if he did Heat 1 for the whole game season and not just the games?
That's what I'm saying. That's
And
a
then,
that's
like,
game season.
Heat 1 sponsored by McDonald's. That would be better. All right. I'll stop.
All right. This is not meant to be negative. This is just could be. My prediction is that and I don't know what type of coverage the WFP is going to do or have in place. I'm starting to get a vibe of a certain group will be handling it, but and not what most people may think. But I think the first broadcast, if they have one, of the very first WFP event will have more live viewers than the finals.
Oh, I agree with that.
That's
Because you're waiting to
fun
see
one.
what it's going to happen. Like, all right,
Yeah.
you
I
just pulled
think
the curtain.
Everybody would be like, all right, let's see what this is about. Because this is what, and I only say this because this is what happened to Grid, right? This is the Madison Square Garden and it's Grid. And then you watch the first one, you're like, all right. And the only reason why I say that is because their system, regardless of the 10 extras, it's just gonna be the same people. And I think by the end, you're like, I've already seen these people for the 5th time.
Yeah.
So that's my bold prediction. The very first
F those people.
WFP event will have more live viewers than their finals.
I'm gonna make Grid great again.
There you go, John. Or just great.
I'm just
Period. It was never good.
Chase
I'm gonna-
never
I'm
liked
gonna make
Grid.
Grid.
I tell you
never
what,
liked
Chase
Grid.
was
I never
anti-Grid
liked-
from the
I
jump.
was the biggest anti-Grid.
I can tell.
I was. I mean, you guys think I'm pro CrossFit.
You hate
now?
Grid more than deadlifts, bro. Like you're.
It's true. That's true. All right, Bill. Number 3.
Actually, I had my next one had to do with broadcasting, because
Oh.
broadcast has always been a point of contention for every single competition, whether it is, and I think the outline has always been it has to look exactly like what the games has.
Right.
No, having the right people, and you have all the the ABC
Huge
Monday Night Football
productions, yeah.
trucks out there, and you have, I mean, the best of the best and the biggest names that have directed and produced and graphics and everything for the Olympics and the World Series, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is going by the wayside, and that what we will see now are going to be the rise of the more guerrilla style chase or the crash type of setup that, like we did it with Sevon, where it is way more raw,
Intimate.
not that it's unprofessional,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not meant to be polished. It's meant to have more of a inclusion with the people that are watching. Like the comments are up. You're talking to the people on the comments. The same things are happening. You're calling the race. You're talking all the the stories that are there. But I think that is going to be the fans have more fun with that.
Yep.
Than just sitting back and watching as if they're watching the game at the Biltmore. They want to be down at the local bar watching everybody getting rowdy. And I think that setup is going to, one, decrease the amount of cost for a lot of these competitions. Not that it's cheap, because I'm not saying that it's a cheap thing. You still have to have certain things put in place and cameras, and you have to know what it is that you're doing with that.
Yep.
But I think from the start of what me and you have done at different times with some of the different events we did, what you set up with the podcast, set up at the semifinals that one year, the way Crash was done originally, like its first time, or that was Crucible, out there on the floor with everyone with their iPhone cameras. It will be a step up of that. But a purposeful step down of the other ones, and just like letting everybody just get in and mix it up. And I think it is going to be, even though the competitive year might be one of the worst years this year, I think the broadcast is going to be one of the best years it's been. It's going to be one of the most fun, I think.
All right, I'm going to hop in here because that's my number 4.
Okay.
So I'll let you guys two take your 4s, but I'm going to build off that. And I put mid-tier media coverage will totally revamp the lower level competitions for their live coverages. And here's why this will be great, and here's why this will also be great, is that, going back to what I think may happen in 2026 with these regional events that we're bringing back that are smaller tiered, is that they don't need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to cover their event. They don't need that. We don't care. We just want to see it well enough that we can enjoy the viewing experience. We don't need every little thing, right? And so what I think is, to progress the sport long term, this is going to be the best path forward in covering live events. Lower budget, but still, it's the quality of what we see and what we get as far as commentators, camera angles, and a decent signal where we can see all of that. No one's watching the broadcast like, man, I really wish these graphics were better. Like, nobody gives a shit about that. Not at Wadapalooza or TFX Invitational. This, like, no one cares. And what will be nice is that even these bigger broadcast companies learn how to downsize something like that and just make the quality high. In turn, that money that CrossFit used to just put on these, or events that saying we can't spend this, now they can, and then they can save that, and at the games, make it the Super Bowl. Make the coverage the Super Bowl. Bring back multiple teams to cover multiple divisions. Bring back the day at the games desk. Bring back the media coverage that was supposed to be around the games, before, during, after, in between. All that money you could have saved during, say, regional days now goes back to the CrossFit Games, and that can be the ultimate professional broadcast, because it is the ultimate test of fitness. So make sure we cover it and treat it with that much respect as we should from a media standpoint. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right, that was my 4. So John, you're 4. Bill, you're 4.
I got me hyped up. Okay. All right. I would like to explain this one a little bit, but the 2020, this is my most bold one. Okay. Tia Toomey will not be pregnant again in 2025. I'm just kidding.
Like, what?
I was like, okay.
The 2025 CrossFit Games will be the greatest program games in the history of the game.
Ooh.
Every time Dave is backed into a corner, and I'm not saying like he's not going to have help. Like, I don't know how that's going to work, but every time he's backed into a corner, he usually comes up pretty clutch. 2019, when there had to be an event that cut half the field, he came out with probably the best event ever made.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
2020, when there was no games and they had the 5 people, I don't think anybody talks about that year as it doesn't count or there's an asterisk. We just know that's the year that there was only 5 people, right? They had the online. And for the fact that we don't say that means it was a really good games. And like, I remember him saying in one of the videos, like, I'm really proud of what we did in 2020. I feel like we saved that year. And I don't know what went through getting all that stuff together. but absolutely, I feel like they saved that year. I don't think they get enough credit for 2020. And it helps having Matt and Tia. It does, but it doesn't matter. Like every time Dave is backed into a corner, he usually comes out with his best stuff. I think we can all agree that 2024 was the worst program games of all time in the modern era. 2008, we didn't even know how to work out, right? I went back, and by the way,
no, 2008 is all we were doing. We were just working out.
I have a little bit of a bone to pick with you two because I went back and looked at your analyzing the games just to see what kind of grades you gave them. Bill goes half a thumb and you go 0.6. It's 2 thumbs down. It was the worst program games of all time. We know this. He missed the ball. He dropped the ball. Dave, it was terrible. Probably picked the worst year to have your worst year of programming too. I think 2025 will be a redemption of some sorts. And like all the things you guys said, like we just got to get through it. I'm with you. It's going to be bad. There's going to be a lot of Europeans that don't want to do the games. There's going to be a lot of people, period, that say I'm out. There's going to be World Fitness Project trying to steal everybody away. I'm with you. It's going to take away from everything.
Yeah.
But then the games in itself, even if everybody doesn't compete, I think it will be the best program games that we have seen. Like balance wise, cool stuff wise, does party tricks wise, you know, it's a new place. We don't know where it's at, but it's I just think and that's my prediction that 2025 is going to be the greatest program that year that we can remember to date, at least in the talks. And it will make people want to do the CrossFit Games.
Oh, John, you got hyped up after what I said.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm in.
Yeah. That was good.
I'm in. I love
Clip it.
That.
Let them know.
I love that. That's fantastic.
That is a great one. And I think that out of all the things we've been talking about, I will pair off of that. And one of the things in the last line you said, John, is it's going to make everyone want to do the CrossFit Games again. I think that this year will be the greatest year and the greatest opportunity for dark horse competitors.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone's going to be split all over the place, or they're not going to be peaking at certain times for certain things. And just like what you said, you know, like there's going to be 10 Europeans that aren't in the mix. So if you are a up and comer, if you are right under the cut line, if you're that number 100 person that we keep talking about all the time on our like fantasy shows when we're kind of putting it together, if they do our scoring setup, you now have the best chance to get yourself into and to perform well in the games, along with all of the coverage that we've been talking about, where you now become a person. This could be your year to have the greatest jump that you could ever have, because the path is not solidified like it's been in the past. So it's wide open. I think that's going to open up for a lot of people.
I like that a lot. Was that your fourth?
That was my fourth one.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Man, I'm fired up.
Went from the absolute worst year ever to the best year, biggest chances.
Well, we all know I'm the most positive one in the bunch. So I had to bring it back around,
That was good, John. I like that one a lot.
That's right, Nick. All in. You guys go get your gear.
Yeah.
That's the year. Here's the year. As rough as we may think this year is going to be, if we can all just like bootstrap it and just grind through in support, it is going to make 2020 like, I feel like this is just a huge setup year to, like you said, John, and what, Bill and I, we're like, well, we basically all been saying right there that 2026, not to skip over this year entirely, but what happens this year on a positive standpoint is going to be the foundation of what 2026 could be. And I think all positive, right? So, hey, y'all just buckle up, ride the wave, sign up for the Open, roll with us, all in this year, right? All in. Here's what all in is, and this is what I'll close off. And this is not going to be like a world clip. I don't know. Depends on what Tyler does. You have to be all in when the shit hits the fan. You can't be all in once everybody gets through it. That's not all in. That's called bandwagoning, right? Like if you guys really want to be all in and we're like, hey, 2026, right? You got to get in now and be all in, because it's really hard to be all in the face of things that just don't think they're going to go well, right? You can't be brave without fear. And I think that's what 2025 is going to be, right? Whatever uncertainty you have, whatever frustration you have, whatever fear you have, all in now is how you get to the end of the rainbow. Otherwise, you're just hopping on the train that other people built for you, right? And it feels so damn good to lay those tracks first and then to ride the train second.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want to be all in now, roll with us. Open sign up starts on the 15th. That's 9 days from now. So if you guys buy a shirt, you better sign up for the Open, because that's what all in is supposed to be. Be all in when the shit hits the fan so that we can enjoy the fruits of our labor when it's all good and done. So Happy New Year, everyone. Reset button, John.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, I was waiting for the live stream to end. I thought we were gonna cut it. Just
No. Hey, guys. Thank
people
you so
being
much.
like, "New year, new me." Like I'm
New
ready
year,
to
new me.
rock, right?
Yeah, 2026, 01. It's all starting over again now. I hope you guys like that. I'm excited for this season. Whatever happens, happens. But we'll be on this. We'll be on this train like we've always been, and we're all in. We hope you guys are all in with us. We appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you guys for joining us. 186 people live. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the membership if you want to. It's going to be a hell of a freaking year, because this year we'll set up for possibly what we've all been begging for the last 3. And that's just getting back to good. And I think this is the year where it's going to happen. Thank you guys. Happy Monday. See you next time.